getting shoved somewhere else. And then there are people that believe in they want to push the mythology of America, but secretly they don't believe in project other people. They don't believe in democracy. It's like a lawyer that goes on trial, you know? What he's thinking in his mind is, okay, my descendant is black, so I have to get someone that's black to be on the jury, you know? It's not, hey, it's my client's really innocent, you know? Oh, you know, here's a white guy from Boston, so I got to get professional people on the jury. It stops being about what was right, but being about what could make more money. And the bottom line is that the money is not going to heal the earth. The money is not going to make anything. The imaginary paper that you make that really is worth absolutely nothing. Okay? This is worth absolutely nothing. It's funny because so is the metal money. They don't even make pennies out of fucking copper anymore. You know why? Because the fucking material that the copper is, how much it weighs, is worth more than the value of the fucking penny. So they make it out of some little zinc compound. That's how little this shit is worth. It's worth nothing. I heard this is a federal crime. It's worth nothing. Sue me. Fuck you. These people here are tired of this, yo. They're tired of listening to the same old lies. And at some point, the people in this country will stop being pacified. Will stop being placated. You know, you can't do this to people in other countries where the circumstances that they live in, and they're living in these dire conditions. You know, but you can do that to Americans because they're pacified. You can keep Americans on a plane for 14 fucking hours. They're not going to explain. Go do that in South America, yo. Go do that in Africa. Don't try to keep motherfuckers on a plane for 14 hours. You're going to rip it apart, yo. People have a bolt on the hell again. Like I can walk down the street and nobody's going to hit me with a car. Only in this fucking nowhere else, yo. Go somewhere else. Don't stand in the middle of the street, in the middle of the Dominican Republic. See how quickly you turn into road. You know, I'm tired of seeing the way that the Wall Street movement has been marginalized by people that just need to, like I said before, to make everybody look like a conspiracy, like a lunatic. That's the real conspiracy in this. A group of people behind closed doors that decide the lives of other individuals, not for their benefit, but for the monetary benefit of those people. You can't take it with you when you die, you know? That's how I know you don't really believe in God. You can't take it with you. You're making money on it. Making money off the death and the destruction of humanity. And when you look back on yourself, 40 or 50 years, it's going to be too late to say I'm sorry, you know? Execute an innocent man, you get exonerated by DNA, I'm sorry. Well, that doesn't really bring anybody back. You can't unkill somebody or unfuck somebody. That's just what it is. And I think people here are honest to God's self, you know, and they're trying to voice their opinion. And for simply voicing their opinion, for simply doing and exercising their freedom of speech, people are being tear gassed, they're being harassed by legionnaires, centurions, whatever modern Praetorian guard this city has got. And when you look at them, what are they honestly? I don't have any hatred for cops. You know, it's a working class dude who probably had some kind of dream in life and then decided, you know what, fuck this. I need to get a job. I need to have some kind of benefits for my family. So I'm going to do that. Or I'm going to run on the bus. Or I'm going to do what I need to do. Half of these people probably know that these individuals are stealing money. They've seen the corruption from the other side. That's the part that we need to understand and acknowledge and bring forward towards this group. The people that are inside the system that know how corrupt it is. That know how much of a joke it really is. That know that these individuals that preach this gospel of capitalism are preaching like a false prophet. You know, that's not all I can really say about it. That if you really want to know what's going on, just come down here. You know, don't try to depict people as radical maniacs. Who the fuck am I? Don't nobody know me here from nowhere.
I know you.
Man, what's up?
I listen to your music every day.
Hey, thanks. How you doing, man? You just come by as a regular person, you say hello to people. People are willing to have a discussion, a conversation. Try going to have a discussion or a conversation with them about any of their policies. Don't try to have a political discussion about how much their politics are destroying this world. They don't want to hear you. We're not speaking their language. Their language is money. That's it. That's all they understand. As soon as we start interrupting their business, start fucking up, some little deal goes sour, believe me, they'll call even more legionnaires in here to run the place out. You know? And everything that exists in the world that we touch is being more and more corrupted by the fact that we can't take care of it. This empire is crumbling. You know, the natural resources of this world are running out. Why are we focusing on that? I hear people all the time, no blood for oil, no, but how about when it's blood for water? How about that? How about when we have a war and 200 years of fucking water? Because there's no more drinkable water. Shouldn't we be focused on having these types of resources available to us? Instead of genetically modifying food, you got stuff, you don't even know what happens. I remember I told my little cousin, my sister, you know, this shit put into your head can't possibly be good. Then later on, they're like, oh, by the way, you know, this causes cancer. Ding! Surprise, surprise. So now, what do we have? We have a movement of people that have similarities, but they have some differences. They have some political differences. The reason that it's so much harder to organize from the grassroots level is that when they have differences, they know what their bottom line is. We're here to make money, all right? Fuck our differences. I don't care if you're Jewish, or I'm Muslim, or Eastern Christian, or atheist. Who gives a fuck? Get this money and fuck these little people over. You know? The problem with a lot of movement situations is that we get hung up on a little different. Oh man, I like that guy's politics. You know, he said this once upon a time, or he believes in the wrong type of socialism. Fuck. Realize what's really the future of not just the country, but of this world. It's all about to go. You know, not some 2012 shit, but realistically speaking, the resources are running out, right? If you're going to look at this video in years from now, you're going to say, damn, you know, he was right, we should have been focused. But you won't listen, you know? Go read the Bible. People don't even listen to God. How the fuck would you listen to me? But if you really do want to make a change, if you want to have some kind of effect, if you want to build with like-minded people, come down here to Wall Street. It's still here. People are still working. They're still willing to have a conversation. They're still willing to debate with people. You know, we're willing to have that debate. That's how you know somebody's a fraud. They're not willing to put their ideas up against anybody else. They're not willing to measure the failure of their own system. Their system failed. Their markets crashed. The economy in this country collapsed. And then you have other individuals. I guess I think 1 second.
We got somebody from Immortal Technique.
Great. But this is another issue that I think people need to obviously confront. Is every aspect of the media is being controlled, yo. Then I had people, this is the best part to me, when people called Obama a socialist. Hold on, homie. This is a corporate lawyer. Yeah, he did his time as a community organizer in the same way, like, you know, some girl in a rich community will slum around with some niggas in the hood before you end up marrying somebody your daddy approves of. That's about it, yo. And now he has to follow the bottom line of what it is. It's not hatred. We're not saying it's not a hatred for anybody's politics. We're saying it out of the realization that if we don't change our minds about how this country works, then we're not going to have a country anymore. That's the point. People say, oh, you don't like America, get out. Why? Why would I get out and leave it in your hands? You fucked it up so much already. Isn't it time that I don't leave? Isn't it time that I bring people here who think like me so we can outvote idiots like you? We need to start forming our own voting blocks, going into people's neighborhoods, spreading the gospel of true democracy. Because we don't have that in this country. We don't have a true democracy. We have a republic, which is a group of individuals that are supposed to represent a large group of people. But they don't. They just represent their own private interests. That's it.
Got it right.
That's all it is. That's all we're here to do. We're not here to spread hatred. We're not here to assault anybody. When they come in here with their reactionary, paid Victorian guard to attack people, all they're doing is being an embarrassment to themselves. All they're doing is hurting themselves. Because they don't realize that we're a part of them whether they know it or not. And that uniform does not make them, you know, a different type of human being. There's still a person under that metal skin. You know, and what we need to do is bring people who are on the fringe, who may not be necessarily part of the movement, to understand the basic premise of what we're trying to do. To make this country a better place, you know? People talk about religion a lot. If your religion doesn't make you a better person, then it's failed you as a religion. You know, if it makes you, you know, more of a really presumptuous individual that's, man, you need to believe in what I believe, otherwise I don't love you. And it's we're supposed to be getting along better with one another. This is supposed to ennoble you. But it's just not. You know, the same way they preach this gospel of trickling down economics and capitalism. It's not trickling down. They're just pissing on everybody. They don't care. Now, the real question is, then what do we do with our money? Where do we put it if we don't put it in their banks? Are we going to keep it under a mattress somewhere? These are serious questions that we have to confront as a community. You know, where's our food going to come from? We have to become more self-sustaining as human beings so we don't rely on everything that they give us. And then we turn into junkies. Somebody comes and gives you Coke every day, man, this stuff's great. And one day it's like, no, I'm not going to give you that today. Unless you do something. Now you're used to it. Now you're hooked to it. Now it's like, oh, I need that. If I don't get that, then I get twitchy and crazy, you know? I've never been a fiend. I never did shit like that. But I've seen people misuse alcohol. That's what's going on in this society. People have turned into fiends, junkies. Of what? I just want people to open their eyes a little. This isn't about some specific political doctrine for me. This is about seeing honest to God, everyday people, human beings, American citizens, people around the world that know that the same thing is going on in their country. We talk about democracy so much, but we have supported so many governments around the world that are the farthest thing from a democracy as long as they give us access to their natural resources. As long as when we say jump, they say how high. That's it. We have employed bin Laden plenty of times when it serves our purpose. We employed Saddam Hussein when it serves our purpose. And I say we because we as a people have a responsibility to change that sort of behavior in this country. We as a people have an opportunity to now change the course of history and make this a different country, a different people, and a different human race. And if we don't, then we're going to suffer the same fate as everything else that never changed or never evolved. We will become extinct as a species. That's it. That's your fucking option. Change and get better and accept that this system is flawed and needs to be changed or become extinct. You might buy yourself a few years living in your little modern castle or dome, wherever the fuck you want to be, but eventually it's going to get to you. You know? Fuck. That's all I got to say. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.